Central Command says U.S. forces have found remains at the site of the Iranian attack that killed 2 of our troops in Jordan. Officials are working to determine whether they belong to the service member who was reported missing yesterday. And separately, a U.S. service member was killed in northern Iraq during what was supposed to be a controlled detonation of a downed Iranian drone. But something went wrong. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is in Tel Aviv with the very latest for us. Mike.
And sadly, John, the number of U.S. servicemen killed in action now increases. As you mentioned, there was that strike at the base in Jordan, and we reported that 2 service members had been killed and a 3rd was missing. Well, remains have now been found, and steps are being taken for a positive identification. Further, that was a tragedy in Jordan. In northern Iraq, there was a team that was disposing of the explosives from the warhead in an Iranian attack drone. Something went wrong in that controlled explosion, and another U.S. service member was killed. Now, the identities are being withheld at this point out of respect for the families of the fallen. But this totals 4 U.S. service members to lose their lives since that memorandum of understanding was signed. Iran has menaced that base in Jordan and other bases in the region with drones and missiles. Most are intercepted, but on Friday, one got through the defenses. Central Command says this 8th night of intensified strikes is intended to punish the Revolutionary Guard forces who launched the attacks that killed the U.S. service members in Jordan. To this point, the majority of the targets have focused on disabling ports, destroying the ability of port towns to resupply, and to prevent the Revolutionary Guard from threatening shipping. Dramatic evidence of that, a tower destroyed in the port town of Chabahar. The U.S. says the Revolutionary Guard used that tower to track ships and attack them in the Strait. Iranian missiles were again fired at Jordan today. One of those missiles got so close to the Israeli border after it was intercepted, debris fell inside of Israel's border. Bahrain intercepted hostile fire. And the nation of Kuwait has a desalination plant that was again hit by hostile Iranian fire. That's the latest from the region, John. Back to you.
Mike Tobin reporting live from Tel Aviv. Mike, thank you. Well, right now, President Trump is attending the final World Cup match in New Jersey on the heels of those new Iranian strikes. Alex Hogan, live in Bridgewater, New Jersey. She's traveling with the president and has the latest for us. Alex.
Hi, John. So as you mentioned, the president is here in New Jersey this weekend. He's currently at MetLife Stadium as he's watching the final of the World Cup. He is in one of the suites, standing in between the First Lady and FIFA President Gianni Infantino, arriving at MetLife with a flyover taking place earlier today. Meanwhile, new escalation in the Middle East in a third U.S. service member dying this weekend. Central Command says that service member was killed Saturday. That was during a controlled detonation of an unexploded ordnance in northern Iraq from a downed one-way Iranian attack drone. And it follows yesterday's announcement that 2 U.S. service members had died, 1 went missing, and 4 were evacuated to Jordanian hospitals after that Iranian missile and drone attack on a base in Jordan on Friday. U.S. forces today carried out their 8th consecutive night of attacks on Iran. This as Iran continues to carry out its own strikes. And today, Jordan's armed forces say that they shot down 3 Iranian missiles, and the U.S. embassy there in Jordan has warned Americans today to refrain from traveling to the airport or to the seaport. Meanwhile, back here at home, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are offering their condolences to the families of these U.S. service members who have been killed. Democrats today are blasting the administration, saying that this war is costing too much money and too many lives, and they are condemning the conflict to begin with.
This is what happens when you start a war of choice. And as a member of the Gang of 8, I can say unequivocally there was no imminent threat from Iran. You start a war of choice without a plan. And very briefly, if you go through what the administration finally said their goals were, regime change, well, the guys in charge now are worse than the prior crowd.
Republicans argue that U.S. forces in the Middle East will now need to turn up the pressure even more in order for this conflict to end.
So now we're going to move forward with Plan A again. The military is going to move in, take out their launch pads, take out their ability to send Shahed drones to hit tankers, the missiles.
Altogether, 17 U.S. service members have now been killed and more than 430 wounded. John.
Alex Hogan reporting from New Jersey. Thanks, Alex.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.